I'm very glad to have taken part in this fruitful and productive meeting with my colleagues from the Visegrad and with our guest, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. And thank you, Peter Pellegrini, my colleague from the Slovak Republic, for organizing this meeting. It illustrates also that the growing importance of the Central Europe in the EU architecture, and we spoke about this, and we spoke about many critical aspects of functioning of the European Union in the global trade architecture and other elements which are of interest to all of us. I find it particularly positive to see the dynamics of the Visegrad Group and Japan format. We met several months ago in Brussels, and there is a growing appetite for growing trade, for more mutual investment. And in this very context, we welcome very much economic partnership agreement, which entered into force a couple of months ago. So we are almost entering a kind of free trade agreement. 99% of goods, at least from the point of view of its value, it's entering into a format of free trade. So it is also an indication of growing mutual interests of Japan and the European Union, and in particular Central and Eastern Europe. We have great expectations also around equalizing trade imbalances. There is a very high level of Japanese foreign investment into Central Europe, but we find it not so easy to enter into Japanese and Far East markets, so we spoke about this with Prime Minister Abe as well. That's why we are planning also business missions, mutual business missions, Japanese and Polish, in our countries. Today's meeting shows that when it comes to EU-Japan relations, as well as many global issues, our countries share similar approach and are able to speak in one voice. This goes for migration, which my colleagues spoke, so I won't dwell into this topic, but we were talking about issues like taxation, digital taxation, technology, free trade, and other issues. I sincerely hope that the EPA agreement will make the Japanese market more accessible for our companies, because also during the meeting we discussed the current issues, not only in the context of trade, but also political issues about the Korean Peninsula, the relationships with Russia, with China, the United States, all the global topics which are of interest to us. So all in all, I believe that this summit was a great success, and it confirms strong ties between Japan and the European Union, and Japan and Central Europe, and the complementarity of those relationships between Japan and Central Europe is to be emphasized. So once more, thank you, Peter, for organizing this meeting, and Prime Minister Abe for coming to Bratislava and for strengthening our mutual relationships.